Hello. Um, so I'm going to compare a couple of chilies. This is a Scotch bonnet that I bought in Tesco. And the reason I'm making this comparison is because they look very, very similar. Can you see that? Very similar. Now this one I grew from seed. Quite proud of that. It's gorgeous, isn't it? It was supposed to be Komodo dragon seeds. So I tried one of these from another plant. So I've got one, two, three. I've got four plants. I've got a chocolate naga, which is a very different looking plant, and the other ones are ghost varieties, from what I can tell. Two of them are supposed to be Komodo dragons. So I'm gonna try the Scotch bonnet first, and I'll be honest. If it tastes the same and the heat's the same, then at least I know what it is. So the only thing I would say is it's a slightly different tone of red. Not, you know. So this is the Scotch bonnet. It tastes completely different to the other. The first Komodo dragon that I had. Okay, so this is very peppery. Like I don't mean like a not like a bell pepper peppery. I mean it's peppery like salt and pepper. A lot of throat burn. And you can see the timing of it. So it's just irritating down here. The tongue burn isn't very much. It's quite a mild pepper, this. So tasty. It's not as tasty as the one that's supposed to be the Komodo dragon from last week. If anything, this is quite bitter. Not very fruity. It's got a nice little burn quite far forward on my tongue. So that's why these are so good for adding heat to food, really. Just a nice burn. It's not a metallic burn like I would say I get from ghost chilies. So what I'll do, I'm gonna just wait for this to die down a bit and have a bit of a drink just to sort of clear my tongue a little bit. I try not to overdrink if I'm eating chilies, just because it can make me feel sick. The stomach doesn't like heat plus loads of drink being thrown down there. So I'm just going to wait for the heat to subside a bit, and then okay, I'll be very honest. There's people on the UK chili farm site who absolutely right in saying these look a lot like habaneros, or even the Scotch bonnet's very similar looking pepper. Doesn't mean it's the same pepper. What am I expecting difference-wise? Well, the Scotch bonnet, it's up front heat, straight off. It doesn't really climb any higher. It's sort of a up front heat, nice heat, quite a bitter taste. It's more of something that you use to flavour food rather than on its own. Because I've had Komodo dragons before, I've had quite a few that were shop bought. I know what to expect. I know what they taste like. So they taste up front extremely fruity, more almost bell peppery fruitiness with a bit of a citrine edge to it. But then the heat builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. And unlike this Scotch Bonnet, which has just stayed on my tongue, irritating my throat a little bit as it went down, I'm expecting the heat to spread almost to my ears. So it's that, the ghost smile. So I'm looking for that. Actually, the bonnet did give me a bit of a runny nose, so that's nice. It's a really good pepper. That. Don't underrate. Shouldn't underrate the flavour of Scotch bonnets. They're really good eating peppers, you know. Sorry about that. Okay, so I think enough of that heat's gone that I can go for the nasty Komodo dragon. It is these ones, Komodo dragons. You start munching and you think, oh, that's not too bad. You know, you kind of, oh, fear. Oh, well, that's nice. Oh, that's lovely. You're lulled into a false sense of security, and then the heat just builds and builds and builds, and it just keeps building. Very hot peppers. So this is a bloody big one, actually. So probably should have picked a smaller one, but it's so pretty, isn't it? Isn't that lovely? And I totally agree that it looks less like the what do they call it, phenotype, less like the standard phenotype for a Komodo. Most of the Komodo dragons I've eaten in the past that I've bought tend to be longer, a little bit flatter. What else would I say? There's a thing with ghosts where you get like there's an initial floral element to it, more in the smell than in the taste. The taste is fruitier. It's just so sometimes I'm worried. Oh, it's going to be too floral, like some chilies can be. But it's not like a Jay's peach, which is revolting, which smells exactly like it tastes. Disgusting. It's like soap. These do have some genuine flavours. So I'm going to be suffering next because this is it's not a habanero. I won't say it's not. I'll say if it turns out to be only the heat of a habanero, yeah, then I'll just label that plant until I know any better as a habanero. But at the moment, we're going to find out if this tastes like a. You'll have to take my word for it if it tastes like a Komodo dragon. Okay, this one's making me nervous. Completely different taste. Okay, it tastes like a ghost immediately. Fruity. It's going to be. It's very familiar, and I know this is going to be very painful. That's why a lot of I think I prefer Ghost Family to a lot of chilies, simply because you get a bit of pleasure before the pain. Just a very tasty chili. It couldn't taste more different to the Scotch Bonnet. There you go. So, what does it do? It's creeping. It's going down my throat. It's now the heat is starting to burn. Well, it's not. It's starting to build. That's metallic. Very hot. So I can feel it on my lips, the roof of my mouth. It's coming back here. It's by metallic. It's like literally like sucking on some metal. The heat is just building and building, and then when you think it hasn't built more, there's more and more and more. It's building through the roof of my mouth, hotter, 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 hotter. It's coming right up here. It's burning the back of my throat. It's a good thing I like this sort of burn, but oh my god, it's getting hot. It's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. If this was a habanero, it would have almost peaked by now, but it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Wow. Almost feel the heat in my eyes. It's not as hot as, obviously, not as hot as a Reaper, but the quality of the bird is very similar. And just as I'm saying that, it's getting hotter. It's like it gets a new wind. It's amazing. So, yeah, if you ever want to try Komodo dragons, they just get great value for the chili, because it's got a flavour on its own. It's not just for adding heat to food. Funnily enough, I've dried Komodo dragon. Sorry, I'm struggling to talk here. Really getting hard on my tongue. I've turned Komodo dragons, bought ones, into chili flakes before, and if anything, they taste even hotter like that because they're so concentrated. It's almost because they're not the oiliest of chilies. You get such a nice fruity interior, and then the all those capsicums that are concentrated through the chili start having their effect. Okay, I think it's almost peaked, thankfully. I mean, no, it wasn't terrible. It was very, very hot, but it's not the worst one. I always the burn from a Moruga scorpion I like least, because they oh no, actually, the Armageddon chilies is pretty bad because they don't seem to hurt in here at all. They just torch my tonsils, whereas this one, I've got the Ghost Chili glowing ears. It's peaked, so that was nice.